Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Planet Zoo. My name is Swoop there and we are here in something that is quite different to what I usually release, but the people have spoken. Here is the poll and you guys really wanted to see what I have been up to in Planet Zoo. So I thought I would release it as a shorter video than usual, but as a series nonetheless. So I hope you enjoy this. If you're usually here for my PK content, never fear, it is coming and it will continue to be added to the channel. This is just something that I really wanted to do and I just fancied building Diagon Alley. So if you're here, please make sure to give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't, but likes really help small creators because it just helps out with that YouTube algorithm and gets our videos out there to more people to watch. So those of you who have been here a while, you'll know that I mostly put out building videos in Prehistoric Kingdom, but I wanted to get creative and I wanted to build something that means quite a lot to me actually, and probably a lot to millions of others out there. So I thought I would jump in and build something that had a massive significance in my upbringing, I suppose, and in my childhood. Like many others, I was in the generation that grew up with the characters. I'm probably giving away a bit about myself there, but I, was the same age as Harry Potter was when the first movie came out. I'd already read the first couple of books and I loved them. I read them as a child and I reread them again and again several times since. I've seen the movies quite a few times and they are honestly just magical. The books are magical, the movies are magical, and it's just was a massive part of my childhood. For those that truly know what it was like, I guess, to wake up on the day that the book was released or the next movie was coming out, it was just the best time, I think, and I honestly would almost give anything to go back and read that series again for the first time. Even just getting introduced to that world again, like some of those places, Hogsmeade, Hogwarts, the Burrow, the Quidditch World Cup, Grimmauld Place, and Diagon Alley, which is what I'm building now. Just getting introduced to those for the first time and reading about them it was so fantastical and so immersive, and you just literally just did get swept away in these books. I think as you kept reading as well, the characters just got so much more relatable. Their descriptions got more rich, more vivid. I guess, the more and more that you read on, the more the characters got given depth. I think, a lot of people could relate to Ron because he was that classic comic relief, but he wasn't the cleverest, but he also, grew up in a family that didn't have much money and, for whatever reason, he wasn't the leader, but his character kind of showed that you didn't have to be a leader. And then Hermione was very, very smart and just that, almost the best witch in Hogwarts at the time, and I guess, being very logical but also being extremely intelligent, very witty. She really was a great female character to have in a lead role, both in the books and in the movies. I think Emma Watson was a perfect choice for her. And then of course you've got Harry, who is for all those people out there, I guess, who think with their heart. So despite him being quite decisive and selfless, also a lot of his decisions are based around his heart and what he thinks is right, and the lessons that can be learnt from the Harry Potter books and the movies are incredible. You've got complex themes in those books like death, love, family. It also talks quite a lot about almost like the grey space in between good and evil. Like there is no light without the dark, and you can't be one or the other. You just have to choose to act on the right parts, I guess, much like the real life. It talks about grief and loss, and also that your friends can be your family. And I really think that they are extremely important messages, not just for kids, but also for adults. So they are some of the reasons why I love the Harry Potter series, and I'll quit gushing about it now. I've talked enough about it. I will just quickly say that I know a lot of people boycott Harry Potter and the Harry Potter world and the community because of J.K. Rowling and her ideals and her beliefs and feelings about certain topics, including the transgender community. I would just like to say that I do not agree with her on those things. However, I'm not going to boycott my childhood because of her views. I really do love Harry Potter, but I also do think it is important to just mention that so that everyone does know that I do not share the views of the author. So now, to talk about the process of building Diagon Alley. I loved it. I am still loving it. It is going to be a multi-part series simply because it is taking forever to build it, because I am a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like this and I just want things to look amazing. So it took me ages. The first building that I built was that grey one there on the left. You can see it's Scribbulus writing implements, so that's where they get like their parchment and their quills and so on. And it also is next to the entrance of Nocturne Alley. Then the building that I'm building right now is Quality Quidditch Supplies, and then shortly after building Quality Quidditch Supplies, I then build Eeylops Emporium. Unfortunately, I lost quite a lot of footage from the building of the Emporium, so that one might not be in a video. However, it will be in this walkthrough at the end of this video, so feel free to jump forward to that if you are sick of hearing my voice and just watching the speed build and you would like to see the real-time walkthrough. I do have timestamps, so you can certainly do that. I did follow a little bit of a different way of building, I suppose, when I was building Diagon Alley. Normally I don't lay out all the pieces. You can see that I've laid out quite a lot of pieces here. I actually went through all of the construction tabs in Planet Zoo and picked out a bunch of stuff that I thought would look good in the alley and put it all out on the grass, and then I had to change the grass because the grass was too long for some of the smaller pieces, but I put it all out, including wall pieces, roof pieces. I went onto the workshop and grabbed a couple of things. I do talk about that in my walkthrough, so I don't take credit for things that I haven't built myself. I have built most of it myself, but there are just a couple of small things like the owls and a few letters that I didn't do. But I wanted everything out so that I could see what I had to work with, and so I didn't have to try and think or know from memory what the pieces were in the construction tab on Planet Zoo, because for anyone that has played Planet Zoo, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces now. It's getting up there to thousands, so it's impossible almost to memorize everything that we have. So I just found it really useful to have most of the stuff that I was going to use out on the path. I did choose to put this build into a diorama rather than into a terrain map. I think the reason behind that was, one, I haven't built in a diorama before, and two, I just wanted to be able to control the background and what the sky looked like and sort of around the outside of the diorama, because at the end of the day this alley is supposed to be in a city, in a big city hidden behind the leaky cauldron, and so it wouldn't have all of the mountains and all of those big scapes that the terrain maps have. So I decided to build it in largest one that you can create. So I do have quite a bit of room to move around, which is good because Nocturne Alley will eventually sort of snake off behind here. And I do want to put Gringotts down the end near Scribbulus, and the other side of the road is also going to be covered in shops as well, so it won't just be one side. So this is really just the beginning of the series. I've built 3 of the buildings in Diagon Alley. After my real-time walkthrough at the end, I am going to put the reference pictures that I did look at for both Scribbulus and the Quality Quidditch Supplies. I'll probably also put the one for Eeylops Emporium. It's just a shame that I lost a lot of the footage for that one. But having said that, it's still there, and I will make sure that I record properly for the rest of the build. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already so that you can see more of my content, and I will see you soon for the next one. Thanks so much everyone, and I'll see you in the real-time part at the end. Bye. Well, hello everyone, welcome in from the speed build. At this stage there is not that much to see of Diagon Alley. I have 1, 2, 3 stores created and just the entrance to Nocturne Alley, but there actually isn't anything down there. This is by no means finished. I have changed things so many times since creating even Scribbulus, which is the first building I built. Already there's probably about 10 hours of work in this. I mean, I know that sounds like a lot, but when you sort of realise that every sort of little piece here is individual, and there are some things that I didn't create myself. I didn't create these owls, and I also did not create these letters here, the quality Quidditch Supplies letters, but everything else at this stage I have built myself. So let's get in and have a little look. So we've just got the owls hanging out in lots of different types of cages here, and then there's quite a few in the window, and then we've got just some, I'm just going to say they're bags of owl seed at this stage, but there's a lot more clutter to come. I'd like to really have the footpath quite cluttered, just like it was in the movies, I suppose, and then there's this owl sitting on this perch that's kind of out above these broomstick handles, and then you have, like, I'm guessing these are like the expensive handles that are really sort of locked on there, and it says you need to inquire inside for those ones. Then we've got the toy broomsticks for 3 galleons at quality Quidditch Supplies, and inside the window here you've got like a racing broom, some of the Quidditch colours, and then a quaffle, well that's supposed to be a quaffle, and then 2 bludgers there. And then if we zoom back here, let's just have a look at the roof here. So there's a few signs up here, bludgers, quaffles and snitches. I haven't put anything on this sign yet. I'm not sure if I will either. Maybe that one's just faded off. In the movies it does say Quidditch, but I'm not too sure whether at this stage I'll add anything there. Then we've got this one up here, which is Tawny, Screech, Barn, Brown and Snowy. And then if we head along here to Scribbulus, this is where they get their parchment and their ink and their quills. So in here I've got some rolls of parchment, which are actually just the bamboo in game, and then these are supposed to be quills or small rolls of parchment here, and then there's a big ink bottle. And then up here we've got the parchment, quality quills, colour changing ink, and then on this sign here it says writing implements. This sign is faded away and is falling off. And there's nothing on the pathway for Scribbulus because I kind of feel like they probably wouldn't have rolls of parchment out on the footpath. And then you've got the entrance here to Nocturne Alley. And at this stage it is just a dead end, but eventually it will be the alley itself. And on this side of Diagon Alley there will be shops as well, so you can imagine it's going to be quite cool when you're walking down here, and there'll be shops on either side sort of all the way up to here, and you'll be able to sort of look around and see all of these different things as you go along. So thank you so much for joining me, I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this installment. This is part 1 of Diagon Alley, and there will be more to follow. Thanks again guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.